Sindhu, pen India. Oh. Okay. So good evening, everyone. So we'll see quickly. So we'll see the international organizations. We in the institute, we call it as international organizations, but I can tell you that's for practical reasons. But I can tell you the questions are comprehensively coming from the whole international affairs, international relations, and international institutions. Okay. But practical reasons, we mention the name organizations, but don't restrict yourself. We are not going to restrict ourselves to the organizations alone. So including the events we are going to see. So we are going to take up some current affair questions, practical possible current affairs questions, and we are going to see answers for them. Before we see them, what I wanted to tell you is that suppose I don't know how many of you guys, you sitting here and those who are sitting in online also, have attended the pre-storming orientations for international organizations that I've given. Any one of you sitting in this classroom have attended that, the orientation that I've given? No. Okay then. So those who are sitting in online, those who have already attended the orientation which for pre-storming that I gave, the first 10 minutes of this session is going to be a repetition from that session. Okay, for the new listeners, that's okay. It's going to be a very important information. Okay. If you look at the previous year international relations questions, how many questions has come up from the international relations as a whole in the past 7 years? If you see, it means I've taken only from 2016 to 2022, so that the most recent aspect of the international relations, we can get a pulse of it. If we go little backward, 2015, 14 means it will be little older. So the IR region is highly dynamic. The questions trends also changes a lot. That is why I fixed the last 6-7 years, okay, for analysis. I went through all the 7 years previous year questions of international relations in the prelims, starting from 2016 to 2022. If you see the number of questions that has come up is 13 questions in 2022. Imagine out of 100 questions, 13 questions from international relations, 7 in 2021. There is a huge fluctuation. Yeah, and then there was 5 questions in 20, 6 in 18, 7 in 8 in 17, and 15 questions in 2016. So this is a huge numbers. These numbers are, which means it will determine your success, okay, of the entire prelim. So this is a subject that you cannot skip, and this is a subject where you can make all the questions right also with smart preparation. And any question that comes up, every single question will be answerable questions only. Doesn't require that much big conceptual understanding. Most of the questions are factual questions only. Test your memory. You do the reading, proper reading from the proper material, from the proper areas, and then do the proper revision. Any question you can answer, and this is a subject that can determine your success in your prelims also. That's the thing, you have to keep it in your mind. Every question are answerable. Okay, next important point. What I have put up in this bracket is nothing but questions from international related, international affairs, international events, international organizations related to environment. Okay, since environment is a separate subject where you will be reading, for example, UN, any climate change related events, UN related, or any biodiversity related, anything related to that international relations current affair, I've skipped them here. Okay, since you will be reading them for your environment subject, I've consciously avoided environment related questions. But if environment related international relations, international organizations also taken into account, means actually it is 15 questions for 2022. 2 questions from environment, 3 questions from environment, 0 questions and 1 question, 3 question, 4 question, 12 questions from environment. Look at this year. This is a very strange year. International environment related matters alone, 12 questions has come from here, and then 15 questions from non-environment related international affairs. So this is the weightage of the subject in your prelims. Okay, after going through every single question, 7 years less 60 questions, which means approximately 8 to 9 questions per year. 8 questions for sure in a year. Definitely you'll get for international relations. We can make a possible statistical assumption average, we can do it. And where the questions are coming up. After seeing all the 60 questions of the past 7 years, I was able to recognize that every single question could be put into any of the 10 baskets. There are only 10 baskets, 10 broad topics. Every single international relations question will fit into any of the 10 baskets. There is no 11th basket. I mean, I cannot put any other basket. In fact, the 10th basket itself is miscellaneous. That's a very small number of questions has come miscellaneous, which I cannot put into any of the former 9 categories. So I've put broadly into 10 categories. And looking at the questions from each of this one basket, I've prioritized them also into 3 broad priorities. Priority areas 1, priority areas 2, and priority areas 3. So in 3, I've put up 4 topics. And then in priority areas 2, I've put up 2 topics. And then in priority areas 1, I've put up 5 topics. So if you see the international organizations, prelims questions, the questions, this area tops, this one and the next one tops. So the questions coming from regional, multilateral, and global groupings, which may be a formal grouping or which may be an informal grouping. Formal grouping or organization or secretariat, leadership, annual summit, something like that. Informal grouping means there is no formal structure, but the members meet with an agenda, something like that. So either formal or informal, either regional or multilateral or global, whatever it is, such groupings, questions are coming up, and this area tops in prelims. So much of questions comes up from this area. So what are all the nature of the questions that comes up? Look at this one. Though I have put the word etc. here, you can give less attention to the etc. The remaining words you can pay more attention to. Member countries questions are asking questions, UPSC questions. If you look into or regional grouping, they'll give which of the following is not a member, whether India is a member. India is a member, the statement is correct or wrong. So this kind of membership of the forums is always becoming a favorite area for UPSC. And then agreements. If suppose any agreements they have made in the recent past, these countries comes together, signs an agreement, or does a dialogue, do a conference, go for a meeting, they sign a treaty, they bring a new program, or they make any significant measures, etc. Everything is becoming questions. But what I've done is that I have etc. This is the etc. that I wanted to tell you. But here I have excluded UN related, because UN is a separate basket we can keep that into. So I excluded UN. So except United Nations related, these groupings is becoming a very important area. 11 questions has come up in the 7 years between 2016 and 17. And if you want to know, I can tell you every year minimum 1 question coming from this area, which is exception is 2020 and 2017. No single question came in these 2 years. But however, every single year 1 question is coming up. And 2022, 3 questions came from this area last year. Okay, so but anyway, I can tell you this is a very important area, 11 questions, and this is the top priority area in international relations. So what we are going to do is that in the last 1 year, what are all the questions? And one more information I have to tell you. I went through all the 60 questions of the past 7 years. And if you go through, you will come to recognize that 90% of the questions are coming from current affairs related international events only. They are not asking from any kind of static area, something like that. I can tell you about if the 10 questions has come up means 9 questions are having a clear, strong, perfect, precise current affair rationale for it. Current affair in the last 1 year, starting from the previous June to this coming May. So up to this period, in the span of 1 year, 90% of the questions are coming. Remaining that 1% of the questions, it was very strange for me to identify a reason. But even then, I can tell you, they have some sort of distant current affair relation, though it is not directly connected to. So what I can tell you is that last 1 year, the 9 topics, the 10 topics related current events in the same priority, if you have read now, you can answer. That's the idea. What we are going to do is that in this 10 topics, we are going to see some 3-4 sample questions, current affair questions, okay, possible questions, and we'll do this session in that way. So this is area number one. And area number two, international and regional trade and finance related matters. So here I have skipped except finance related matters and except UN related matters. Excluding them, the remaining I have mentioned here. And if you go for trade related matters, that is another priority area. 9 questions has come up in the 7 years. And trade or regional trade, finance related matters, what are the questions coming up? If you see, it means there I have included WTO, IMF, World Bank, or economy related, trade related, everything coming up under this area. And they are asking questions about the organizations, their structure, their functions related, and the agreements, anything they have made in the recent past, any treaties they have concluded in the past, the programs initiated by them, other initiatives done by them, all these areas. These are the precise areas. Once again, I put up etc., but don't bother about this etc. The remaining words are very crucial. Questions has come up from this small areas. Okay, focusing this area. So 9 questions in the past 7 years. And if you want to know the trend, I can tell you. So 1 question each year, except 2021 and 2018, except these 2 years where no questions came. 1 question coming up every year. 2016, 4 questions came, and 2017, 2 questions came. So you can understand this is also fluctuating area, but minimum 1 question in a year you can get in this. And then key terms you would have heard. And they'll tell the term and say that this term is recently in news. It is related to what? 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll give an option. That's such kind of questions. Once again, this is also a priority area. 9 questions has come up in the past 7 years. International organizations, events, etc. And then United Nations, organs, specialized agencies, programs, funds, etc. And once again, these questions are not from the static area. Don't go and read the UN, all the agencies, everything not needed. Current affair related. Last 1 year, current affair, what are all the United Nations related things are in news? Only from them question has come, and 7 questions in the past 7 years. And almost every year, single year, 1 question, except 2020 and 2017. Every remaining years in the past 6 years, except 2, all the 4 years questions has come. Some years even 2 questions, 3 questions coming up like that. It has come up like that. So these are the first priority areas. Last 1 year, from this 5 broad baskets, whatever has happened in the 1 year, IAS parliamentary you are referring to, prepare them. I can tell you that minimum, if suppose 10 questions, let's assume 8 questions are coming up, I can tell you 4 to 5 questions from this 5 baskets alone you can answer. Okay, we'll see the sample questions also. And then going for the second priority topic, looking at the previous year trend, major event, area, country, ethnic group, anything. So Abi region is in news, right? Or the earthquake in Turkey or flood in Pakistan. That's everybody knows it. Or the southeast Fiji or a volcano has erupted, underwater volcano. So these regions in news, events in news, ethnic groups in news, such areas, any ethnic group, any country. So these areas also seems to be a prominent area. Those 7 questions in the past 7 years, I can tell you one thing. 4 questions came in 2022. 1 year, 4 questions came in 2022 in this year. But still, I have put up in second priority areas, not in first priority, because question came in 2018, 16, and 2022 only. 3 years, the question has come from this topic. Remaining years, no, 4 years, no questions. 3 years, 7 questions. 2022, 4 questions. So you can understand this is a highly fluctuating area, because in 2022 they asked 4 questions from this one single topic alone. So maybe this is a trend of UPSC, maybe not. This is a random odd year, or this is a trend, beginning of a trend coming year also they may ask. So this is a doubtful thing only. And then, but still I've put up in second priority only. Yeah. Next one is reports, indexes, including various reports. And the reports are various indexes, if anything is there, what is India's ranking and how the indexes are calculated. These questions are also a favorite area of UPSC, and this 7 question has come up 7. But here I can tell you about this particular area, because last 3 years, no single question has come from this reports, indexes, and all those things. But before that, last 3 years, which means up to 2020, 21, 22, no question has come. But if you see from 2016 to 2019, every single year, 1 question minimum came from this area. Okay, and even I can tell you 2019 la 2 questions and 2016 3 questions came from reports indexes alone. But this is a very dry area, because it's huge number of reports published by different bodies and indexes la ranking and where India stands, how this index is calculated. Okay, the sub elements of the indexes, all those things are becoming questions, means it's a high factual area. Okay, we get this kind of confusion also, this area, but still, but last 3 years no question has come. So I had a choice whether to keep it as a priority area or a least priority area. So I was in a doubt, so better I kept it as a second priority areas. I've kept it. And then if you go for the third priority areas, the nuclear related, military related, security related, collective security related items in the news. Now security related events are happening a lot. Azerbaijan, Armenia is fighting, Israel is fighting with Syria, and then Russia is fighting with Ukraine. So world over conflicts are going on. NATO is in news, CSTO is in news, and then Warsaw Pact is also, though it is defunct, it is also being discussed. The security-related events, a lot is happening world over, and that area is also another area. But it is, as I said, it's a third priority, least priority area. I've kept it. But this year, this maybe more comes up. And then bilateral and global trade by India. India's trade with a country, with European Union, what is India's trade? But though it is a very rare area, that's also one of the area questions has come up. But only 3 questions in the past 7 years. That's a strange area, I can tell you. So 2021 question, 2017 2 questions. Only 2 years questions has come from this area. 2017 la 2, 2020 la 1. Remaining years la no single question has come. So this is important, not important, we cannot say. But this is one area where questions has come up in international relations. And then sports. Strangely, I can tell you 10 years before, very regularly, every single year, UPSC will ask questions from sports, almost 12, 13 years back. Every year they'll ask questions, but they have skipped the trend. There is no sports question at all coming up, and nobody was reading to. But strangely, 1 year, 2020, so I've said 3 questions in past 7 years, but to be precise, I can tell you 3 questions came only in 1 year, 2021, in only 1 year. In the past 7 years, I can even tell you go for past 10 years. Only 1 year sports related question has come. That is unusual. 3 questions in 1 year. Yeah, determining. It is very interesting because 2021 3 questions. For instance, they said Lara's World Sports Award. They mentioned that award, who received that award, and what is the nature of that award, something like that statements came. And then 32nd summer Olympics was conducted before that exam. So on the summer Olympics, who won, what was the performance, something like that, who what award medal they got, something like that. And then ICC World Test Championship, one question has come. So cricket lovers would have find it an interesting question. Anyway, so this is a highly fluctuating area once again, and remaining I've kept it under miscellaneous. 4 questions in the span of 6 years, 7 years, 4 questions I cannot put up in any of the above 9 baskets. Okay, that completely strange, odd questions that stood out. For example, question 1 year, 2022, and I have to tell you one thing. On the 4 miscellaneous questions came only in 2022. Okay, you know how the question was? Vietnam's economic growth, Vietnam's political system, and Vietnam, why it is growing fastly. The statements were given related to that. Vietnam country related to that. And then right to city, by some United Nations efforts of right to city, about that one question came. And then Global Ocean Commission, it is related to seabed exploration by India, something related to that one question came. And there is one water credit, one international event related one thing came. These 4 questions I cannot fix into any of the above 9. Okay, but all these 4 I can put it as least priority areas. So this is how question has come. We are going to take up each one single area. And even if you're preparing, I would suggest you first to finish up the first priority areas. All the 1 year current affairs we have already done, means revision process I'm saying, because already you would have studied international relations, a lot of international relations in the recent period. If you have already done it, means regarding the revision, regarding the areas incomplete and all those things, go for first priority first, finish them, and then go for second priority, finish them, and then you can come for the third priority. First and second priority, do lot of revisions, as much revisions as possible. So this is the thing which I said it in orientation. I've repeated again here. Now let's get into the purpose of the present session. Okay. So let's take up each of this area and we'll see current affairs related questions that I have framed based on UPSC standards. I framed some questions and we'll go through them. So regional, multilateral and global groupings, both formal and informal, these are all the areas where I'm excluding two things. One is UN and its agencies plus trade related, trade and finance related. So except these two areas, UN and this two, the remaining all regional, multilateral, whatever in news, I went through them and I've handpicked some 3 to 4 questions. Okay. Okay. So let's go through the questions. So the questions which has been already asked from these areas in the pre-storming, I've skipped them. Okay. Though 1 or 2 questions, overlapping questions came, which is not covered in pre-storming, but still which is relevant for this UPSC coming prelims. I have chosen some 3-4 questions. Okay. Read this first question. Consider the following statements and try to find an answer. I think you guys can answer also. Online la irukanga. Raise பண்றாங்க doubts. Options ஏதாவது சொல்றாங்களா? இருக்காங்க. Okay. அவங்க chat இருக்கு இல்லையா? Chatல online students you can put your answer options in chat. You can try. Consider the following statements. இது எங்க எனக்கு accessible இருந்துச்சுன்னா சொல்றீங்க. இல்ல இது இங்க வச்சிட்டா சார். இங்க வச்சிரீங்களா? இல்ல அதுல வைக்கிறேன். அது வச்சிரேன். Okay. Consider the following statements in connection with the Indian Ocean region in the recent news. Under the Indian Ocean region forum meeting held recently, which was held in December 2022. Okay. China proposes to establish a marine disaster prevention and mitigation cooperation mechanism between China and countries in the Indian Ocean region. Is the statement true? Come on, everybody. It was December current affair. Is the statement true? Was China preparing like that? Come on, quickly. We have some 25 plus questions we have got. Online students, you can put up in chat also. Chat is disabled. Yeah, now it is enabled, guys. Now it is enabled. Will you provide PDF of these notes? Yeah, I'll give time at the end. You can take a photo of our screenshot or something like that. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Yeah, and then there's an option 1 is not right. Okay. No. 2 only is correct, you are saying. Both 1 and 2 are correct. The Indian Ocean Rim Association, with its 23 members from the region, has disaster reduction as one of the 6 priority areas. Is it true? Both the statements are true, actually, because in December 2022, China called up and nearly as many as 19 different countries from the region went and participated in this meeting. And this is very sensitive because India reacted with a lot of concerns regarding that, because China said that we are meeting all of these member countries. Our purpose is to respond quickly to the disaster management. If you look at it, means recent period, like Indian Ocean region or the areas closer to the proximate to the Indian Ocean region, like any disaster, natural disaster happens, which is the first country to respond quickly. Now, India is one of the first country. Indian Navy is very quickly responding. So that is a legacy that we have established. And China wants to they want to break this kind of the India's ability. So recent period, China said that disasters and all happens, we need to respond to it quickly. So the more number of member countries from the Indian Ocean region, they are able to establish a good relationship. Then future disaster or navy we are planting there in Maldives or here, like that they can say, and they can place the navies and all. They have said it actually 19 countries participated. and this is of strategically more important event for India. So this is Indian Ocean Rim Association has 6 priority areas. In the 6 priority areas, the disaster risk reduction is one of the area. Okay, so there are 6 areas there, and I suggest you to go through all the 6 priority areas of the Indian Ocean region. And Indian Ocean region, Indian Ocean Rim Association is also very important this year for this one reason. Indian Ocean Rim, for one reason, Indian Ocean Rim Association. I'm just missing that reason. Anyway, so next, I'll go for the next question. Anyway, quick, those who have answered both 1 and 2, they're absolutely right. The others, so answer both 1 and 2. Let's go for the question number 2. Which of the following statements regarding the Raisinia dialogue is not correct? It was in current affair once again. It is India's premier conference on geopolitics and geoeconomics. The dialogue is conducted annually at New Delhi, India. It's a meeting between public heads, private sector, media, and academia. It's an initiative of India under its G20 leadership. Which of the above statements is correct and which is not correct? The one statement that is wrong. D is wrong. Why D is not correct? It's not related to, but who actually conducts this Raisinia dialogue and who initiates? It's Ministry of External Affairs with Observer Research Foundation, ORF, and Ministry of External Affairs of India, of Government of India. They together are conducting this one, and this is a multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholders concept. When you look at it, government heads of the states comes up, politicians, top ministers comes up for the meeting, private sector comes up, academia comes up, media comes up. It's a multi-stakeholder meeting, and they are doing this talks, Raisinia dialogue. So most of you has made it right, and the questions I've made it in a or kind of fluctuated standard, which means some difficult questions will be there and some easy questions will be there. I've tried to stick to the UPSC's pattern. Anyway, so this question easily most of you answered. Okay, we'll go for the anyway. Go through this Raisinia dialogue that was in news, and it is conducted annually also. So every year it is in news. And then next, which of the following statement is not correct with respect to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? That is also SCO is a very, very important organization, particularly post this Taliban taking over Afghanistan, and for a variety of reasons. SCO is a very important organization. It is news. Actually, it is in news. It is the world's largest regional organization in terms of population. Is it true? Is it true? I mean, who are all the member countries of this SCO? India, China. How many countries? 8 countries are there. And India, China is there. And then Russia is there. If you Pakistan is there. If you calculate them itself, won't you get the 40% of the world's population? Don't you get it? Yeah, you get it, no? So that's true, actually, the statement. You can even make an assumption. So why you struggle for this to arrive at this option? So answer A, A is correct, actually. Consists of the 40% of the world's population. And it is also, if you look at it, geospatial extent also, the geographical extent also, if you look at it, this grouping forms the world's largest ones again. China, Russia, India. So larger part of Eurasia, or a larger part comes under it. It focuses on economic and political cooperation among the member countries. Is it true? Yes, it focuses on political matters, security related matters, economy related, all the matters. It's actually a comprehensive organization which looks into politics as well as economy, both the things. Second statement is also correct. Which one is wrong? It is governed by the heads of the state council, its supreme decision making body, which meets once a year. Is it true? SCO, heads of the state, meets once in a year. SCO. Yes. Come on, everybody. Online. That's true. Iran and Belarus are the pairs of countries that are trying for observer status in the SCO presently. Is it true? Yes or no? That's wrong, actually. This is the statement that's wrong because already they both are observers. They are asking for full membership presently, and most possibly they'll get the membership very soon. These two countries, but already there are 4 observers, 8 member countries and 4 observer states are there. Observer is Afghanistan is there, and then we have Iran as observer, and then Belarus as member. This Belarus has supported Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's the one country which has openly supported. So Russia is in the process of backing Belarus, and Iran and Belarus will get the membership. And then one more country, I think it's Mongolia. It should be. Yeah, already observers. The one more country is Mongolia. So these are the countries. The 4th statement is wrong. Yeah. So this is a time to test you also. Yeah, you are prepared in your current affairs and all those things. Your preparation, you can test your status of preparation also. We'll go for the next question quickly. I'll go for the next question. Okay. So second area, international and regional trade, finance related organizations, agreements, treaties, those things that has come up in the past. I've framed some 3-4 questions. Let's see whether it's answerable for you or not. Yeah. Which of the following is not an outcome of the 12th ministerial conference of WTO held recently? Very recently, because of this COVID, some of the conferences, global institutions or the conferences and all were not conducted. So some of them, they went for virtual summits. Some of the conferences, true global summits, they did not go for at all. Post COVID in the 2022, so many conferences have happened. For instance, ministerial conference, 12th ministerial conference happened after a gap of 5 years. Look at it, 5 years before prelims writing guys only were preparing the previous 11th ministerial conference outcome. So you are the guys going after 5 years with the ministerial conference of WTO outcome has already happened. So I suggest you definitely, and UNFCCC also, 27th conference of parties has happened, which is almost after a gap of 9 years it has happened. Okay, so you are the guys going for prelims after a gap of 9 years preparing COPO outcomes. So the WTO also, that outcome, I would suggest you, because this question is very limited because I have kept just 4 options here. That too, one option is wrong option. So proper 3 outcomes of WTO's 12th conference only I have kept it here. But I would suggest you definitely, you would have read by this time WTO the 12th conference outcomes. If not, go through all the outcomes of this. As I said, it's happening in a gap of 5 years. Okay, let's see how many of you are making it right. Oh, so many options you have put up. Huh? Yeah, come on, guys. Members committed to work towards having a well-functioning dispute settlement systems accessible to all the members by 2024. Is it true? Is it an outcome? In fact, that's the first outcome. Or before 2024, the dispute settlement mechanisms or a well-functioning settlement system, which is accessible to all the members, and it's one of the major outcome. It's a direct outcome. It's just a cut and paste statement. Agreement on curtailing harmful fishing subsidies was made. Is it true? That is true. Related to a lot of fishing related harmful fishing subsidies, the agreement was made in this also. Agreement on global food security, under which the members agreed to a binding decision to exempt food purchased by the UN's World Food Program for humanitarian purposes from any export restrictions. Is it true? Particularly because of this Russia-Ukraine war, there is a shortage of this supply, this humanitarian emergencies and all happening. So the countries have come to this agreement. This is one important outcome related to the current happening. So global members agreed to a binding decision to exempt. They made a binding decision. That's the most important. It's considered as a bigger one of the achievement of this ministerial conference. Binding decision to exempt food purchased by the UN's food program from any export restriction. So countries cannot keep, India or any country cannot keep any restrictions on the food products, wheat, rice, and all those matters, which is procured by United Nations the World Food Program. Other buyers you can put the restrictions, but not for the WFP. And then members agreed to permanently waive intellectual property patents on COVID-19 vaccines without the consent of the patent holder. This is the wrong statement since all the first three are right. No, this is the wrong statement. What is the problem with the statement? It's not permanently, it is only for temporarily. For 5 years. So for 5-year period, COVID vaccines, intellectual property rights waiver will be there only for 5 years. After 5 years, the patent holder will get his intellectual rights back. So this is only a temporary measure, not a permanent measure anyway. So that is what making this statement wrong. Okay. Yeah, D is false. C is true. That's right. D is correct. Iran is a member country of SU. Iran. No. Iran is not a member. They've asked for membership. Okay, the process was started because the same issue happened with another student also. They have started the process, but have they become full-fledged members? Member yet? Yeah, I'll confirm it before this class. Okay. Iran is set to be. Yeah, they started the process. The process is going on. Okay. It should have been this year, right? India's chairman. So India's presidentship. I'll just confirm it in few minutes. For the question number 2. Which of the following statements regarding the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity is not correct? Which is not correct? So all the 4 statements are here. Very quickly, come on guys, answer. It was launched jointly by the US and other partner countries of the Indo-Pacific region in May 2022 in Tokyo, Japan. Is it true? Come on. It aims to strengthen economic partnership among economic partnership related forum. India is a member, and this grouping together constitutes 40% of the global GDP. Indo-Pacific economic. The framework strictly adheres to the principles related to trade and supply chain resilience alone. The statement is wrong. Actually, they have 4 pillars. The remaining all 3 are correct. The forum is essentially resting on 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars, trade is 1 pillar, supply chain resilience is 2nd pillar, and then taxes and anti-corruption is 4th measure, is 1 pillar, and then they have 1 more pillar. Any one of you? I missed that 1 more pillar. Anyone? Some of it is related to environment. It's related to environment. Clean energy, right. Clean energy, decarbonization. I'm very sorry. Clean energy and decarbonization. Yeah, thank you. So these are the 4 areas, 3 and 4 areas, not just alone. It's not that. This is one of the area and these 2 areas. It's a very important, significant grouping. India is a member to this grouping. Anyway, most of you has made it right. Yeah, clean energy, not economy. Most of you made it right. That's good. We'll go for the next. So third area, key terms, the terms which was in news. Let's check. Which of the following is correct regarding the Black Sea grain? Okay. Which of the following is correct regarding the Black Sea grain initiative seen in the news recently? I think most of you can answer very quickly. It's an agreement between Russia and Ukraine made with the Turkey and the UN during the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Is it true? Is it true? That's true. To keep this Black Sea, there is a number of ports are there, and the Black Sea ports, the grain movement, Russia or Ukraine will not hinder. Their war will not stop the supply. So it's an assured supply which will go along. The grains will be supplied along the Black Sea without any interruption, though Russia, Ukraine going for a war. That's the assurance that was made. But very recently, it was agreement in 2022, but very recently, in the last 2-3 months, Russia said that it is going to back out from the initiative. Okay, Russia is not going to be part of this thing until they've said it. So that's a threat that has come up. That's why it is in news. An attempt by Russia to recover its warship Moskva, which was sunk by Ukraine forces in the Black Sea. That's wrong. Actually, this Moskva ship of Russia was hit and it was submerged. That statement is true, but on the statement, the name is not Black Sea Initiative. In fact, there is no name for it. It was an event that has happened. You can be familiar with that event also. It's Russia's second option, Russia's initiative to increase its crude oil export from the Black Sea ports. In fact, they have increased a lot of crude oil export via Black Sea port. That they have done it, but it's not this name. Multilateral military exercise hosted by USA. That's wrong. The imaginary statement that I've created. Anyway, statement C, that is Black Sea Grain Initiative. That term was in news. Most of you has made it right. Good. Iran was accepted as a permanent member, under India's leadership. SUN meeting held in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. I'll confirm it in this class. In PIB, they have mentioned as clean economy. I've read it as a clean energy, some authentic source only, and direct website, I think. Anyway, the term pink tide that was in news recently is related to. I have kept 3 options here. 4th one in the last. Okay, quickly go through all the 4 and then answer. The pink tide that was in news recently is related. It's one type of harmful algal bloom around Florida's Gulf Coast. Is it true? First statement, is it true? Actually, that is this is red tide. Not just in Florida's Gulf Coast. Recently, they have taken a sample from their coastal Red Sea. I mean, the sea water is like red because of this harmful algae. The world over, various places sort of phenomena, but samples recently taken there. That is why it was in news. It is a tide seen at the Mumbai beaches reported in the news recently. Not recently, 2022, 2020, there was a news, Mumbai, but that is related to blue algae. I mean, blue tide, it was called as blue tide. I mean, sea looked perfect, deep blue. Yeah, you can see that because some space activities, moon is coming there, here, a lot of changes, some reflection. Sea looked so blue. They called it as blue tide. So good images and all there, but it is not. It's blue tide. It's not related to pink tide. Increase in women participation in agriculture in the recent past world over, as stated by FAO's report on the status of women in the agri-food systems. This report is published by FAO only. But is this statement true? C, D also you go through before making any decision. It's a political wave and perception of a turn towards left-wing governments in Latin American democracies, moving away from the neoliberal economic model in the 21st century. Come on, then finally you guys struck between C and D. Tell me quickly which is the option. C or D? C, D. Since it is pink and girls are there, na? Yeah. C, you are going. C is wrong, yeah. D. Okay. Tied. So it's D actually. Okay, you see Latin America, so many countries are moving towards left wing. In fact, I can tell you this is one of the world over the top 10 events that have shaped the world. If you see it in the past 1 year, 2022, this is one of the significant event. Most of the Latin American countries are moving towards left wing. Leftist countries, leftist political parties are coming to power. So liberalism, the world is moving towards liberalism, but strangely Latin American countries are shifting towards left wing. Left wing parties are coming to power. In the surge in left wing parties coming to the power, they are giving a name pink tide. Okay, the term is very popular. Yeah, that's one of the significant event of yeah. No, the term is very much in news. Anyway, so answer is D. I thought that you guys will confuse if pink is related with women. Somehow I felt that's right. And then, but don't get confused. UPSC also does that. Okay, let's go for the third question. I think most of you guys can answer also. This is one of the world's humanity or the first event kind of that. Anyway, I'm not giving any clue. DART mission seen in the news recently is related to which of the following? Mission by NASA under which Sunita Williams held the records for most spacewalks by a woman. She kept a record or not? I mean, she's the woman who did the most number of spacewalks. That is true. She did that record. And the first statement is true, but on the mission, the name is not DART mission. In fact, there is no name for that mission. It's a space mission by NASA aimed at testing a method of planetary defense against near Earth objects. That is true. That was a big achievement. Okay. And an asteroid is coming and they hit it successfully. They hit it, an asteroid that is approaching the Earth. They hit it and they blast it. Just a DART mission, Google it now. Google as a surprise for you that I can tell you. When you get in your free time, you can do it, not now. Yeah. Just type DART mission. Google will give you a cute surprise. They will give you. And then C, mission by USA government to facilitate establishment of car companies of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. That's wrong. That's wrong. None of the above. Yeah, you know that. It's not actually Tesla's planning. He has made a plan, but anyway, this you don't bother about it. B is right. I felt most of you can go right for this question. Area for United Nations. Questions related to the UN we'll see very quickly. Consider the following statements about the UN Statistical Commission. It was in news very recently. Why? It's the highest body world over. It is one of the highest body world over related to setting up statistical standards and all those things. It's UN body. It is very important body, not that important, but still it is assuming importance for UPSC this year. Why? Because India is elected as the chairperson to this UN Statistical Commission very recently. In the last 3-4 months, very recently India has been elected. Anyway, so let's see the statements. It is responsible for setting up statistical standards and the development of concepts and methods, including their implementation at the national and international levels. Come on, yes or no? Come on, first statement is correct or wrong? I've given, yeah, only 2 statements. 1 and 2, both. Sir, please reply to my request. What's the request that you have made? I'm sorry. What's the request you have made? Oh, please provide the PDF. Okay, I'll provide you. No problem. Yeah, I'll provide the PDF. Yeah, Telegram. I have to post it in Telegram, right? Come on, I'm asking. I'll send it to the coordinator. I'll ask him to post it. So just listen to me. Consider the following statements about the UN Statistical Commission. It's responsible for setting up statistical standards and the development of concepts and methods, including their implementation of the national and international. Come on, guys, what's the answer? Both 1 and 2 are correct. D, both. D means none of the above you're saying. Come on, guys. Huh? Both are correct. First statement is correct. The Commission consists of 24 member countries of the UN, elected by the UN Economic and Social Council. That's true. On the basis of equitable geographical distribution. Yeah, some continents, some seats like that they're giving through a secret ballot system. That is true. It's through which India has contested and India has won. Okay. And it's good number of votes India has got, because UN Economic and Social Council has got some 54 something members. Out of that 54 members, 46 members voted in support of India. That's a grand success for India. Anyway, so that's why this one is in news. Statistics census is going to come up, once this election gets over and all those things. Anyway, both the statement are correct, so answer is both 1 and 2. Let's go for the next question. Consider the following statements with regard to the UN Security Council's counter-terrorism committee. This was also in news because its meeting was conducted in India recently. Okay, that's why it is very important. And India is a victim of terrorism for very long. So naturally, you guys are expected to keep. It's one of the top priority area for the prelims for India. So Delhi Declaration on countering the use of new and emerging technologies, for only 2 statements, I guess. Yeah, and then comes both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Only 2 statements. Come on, quickly. Delhi Declaration on countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes is adopted as a part of the committee's special meeting held recently. Is it true? That's true. Counter-Terrorism Center is assisted by Executive Directorate, CTED, which carries out its policy decisions and conduct expert assessments of all the 193 countries of the UN member states. Any country, they can make an assessment, they can prepare a report about the status and all those things. Is it true? Come on, second statement, quickly. D. Most of you is putting D. That's true. Both 1 and 2. C is correct, not neither 1 nor 2. Both the statements are true. Okay. The CTED, and this is a very important function, and it conducts expert assessments of all the 193 countries. They make an assessment, okay, about their supporting of terrorism or related to that and all those things. So both 1 and 2 are correct. And the next question, universal periodic review, sometimes seen in the news recently, is related to which of the following? All the 4 are here. Which one is true? Universal periodic review. Review by the IMF on the status of economy of indebted nations. Those countries which get debt from the IMF, they have to make a periodic review and submit as that. Is called as UPR something. A review by FAO of the world food status in a particular period once. A review by UNESCO of the maintenance of world's heritage sites. A review by which state-driven voluntary process on human right obligations fulfillment by the countries. Okay, you're saying UNESCO. Students hopefully putting any answers to this. Nobody's putting answers to this. Answer is D. Yeah, that is true. It is D, human right obligations. It is actually Sri Lanka has very recently did this review. Particularly you guys from Tamil Nadu, you must be knowing it. Yeah, it's a state driven. It's a voluntary process. The state has to do a voluntary assessment. human rights status how it is in their country, whether they are sticking to the human right norms, they are protecting it and all. They have to make a good review and they have to submit it. Okay, அது ஒரு voluntary process that is done by a country. Okay, universal review. It is established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2006, UN General Assembly 2006. It's a voluntary peer review process. So what are all the steps they have taken to protect their human rights situation in their country, and what are all the steps they have taken to fulfill the human right obligations of the UN? Okay, UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, what steps they have taken to fulfill their obligations, all those things they have to make, and they have to submit a report. And 3 countries comes together. They call it as troikas to help a country to do this periodic review. So 3 peer countries comes together. That's why. Anyway, so answer is D. Most of you made it right. Consider the following statements about the Interpol. Interpol also repeatedly in news anyway. Its head is elected by the UN General Assembly for a 4-year term. Is it true? Is it true? Come on. UN General Assembly elects the head of the Interpol, and the term is 4 years. First statement is correct, actually. It's why? Because I can tell you one reason. This is a very important current affair. Yeah, why Interpol is important? Because this is the second time in its history. It's a truly global body. 195 member countries are there in Interpol. Even the countries which is non-members of UN also. 193 is UN, 195 is Interpol. This body is conducting its second conference in Delhi. Not second conference. Since its establishment in 1997, they made their first India la first conference of Interpol was in 1997. India la second conference is happening of Interpol. That is why news. It was set up in 1923, and this is 100 years. Interpol is celebrating 100 years, so it is very natural. It is expected you guys learn about Interpol. Okay, Interpol is celebrating 100 years means, and it is conducting its conference in India means, meeting in India for Delhi 4 years, 4 days they are conducting means. That's why Interpol is very crucial this year. The president of the Interpol is elected by the General Assembly, one of the member states, and he holds for a period of 4 years. And it has a full-time secretary general also, and that secretary general is also elected by the General Assembly, but he is for a 5-year term. The head on the executive is for 4 years. Secretary general is also elected by the same General Assembly, but he is for 5 years. General Assembly lays down the policy for the execution. UN General Assembly puts the policy for the execution. I mean, day-to-day functioning, what Interpol has to do. All the executive functions of the Interpol is listed by, provided by the UN General Assembly. Yes, sir? No? Yes, that is also true. General Assembly plays a very crucial role in setting the mandate. Under the red notice of Interpol, a request is made to any UN member nations that if the named individual is located in their country, immediately they should communicate to the country in which that person is wanted. Is it true? Nityananda is here only. Do they have to communicate to India? Something like that. I'm asking if it is a member country. Yes or no? It is what red notice. The purpose is this one. Is it true? That is true. So all the 3 statements are true. 1, 2, and 3. All the 3 are correct. You guys made the options D. That is correct. Okay. We'll go for the next question. UN General Assembly policy for execution by the Interpol Secretariat. Interpol Secretariat day-to-day functioning. I mean, what do they perform? All this thing mandated on the UN General Assembly makes and gives it to them. Okay, and time to time they can change it also. Huh? Hmm? What? Yeah, no, they does not have a separate force. But it has a separate president, not executive. Actually, the office is called as president. Interpol or president is there, and they have a secretariat also, secretary general. As I said, Interpol or the structure and functioning, definitely read this year. It was established in 1923, and this is 2023, which means 100 years. No, I told already. Don't miss this Interpol this year. We'll go for the next question. So major event, area, country, ethnic group, etc. in news. Let's see your awareness in this area. Consider the following pairs. How many pairs given below are correctly matched? One pair only, two pairs, all the three pairs, none of the above pairs. Okay, Bakhmut area was in news. It's a stadium in Indonesia in which human clashes, people clashed among themselves, resulted in deaths of hundreds of people. Some 200 people got killed or clash or stadium clash. Is it Bakhmut? Is one is right? Huh? Is it the Bakhmut? The next one is Kanjuruhan, an area in the eastern Ukraine under attack by the Russian troops. Is it true? Sindh, flood happened due to heavy monsoon rains. Is it true? Sindh province of Pakistan, flood, heavy rains. Come on. The events happened in this year. That's true. Sindh and Balochistan. These are the two areas heavy rain happened. The third statement is true. This one is wrong because it is actually exchanged. It is called as Battle of Bakhmut. The Bakhmut, it's one of the strategic area in eastern Ukraine where Russia invaded. Russian troops focused that area and tried to capture that area. Ukraine artillery restored that. Yeah, no, why significant? Bakhmut was significant because it's kind of a junction, which means so many roads get divided there. I mean, if you capture that area, you can block entry into various spots. Okay, or it's like a junction area, a lot of things are there. So Bakhmut was focused. So Battle of Bakhmut they called. It's an area in eastern Ukraine. Russian troops attacked. It was, and then Kanjuruhan is a stadium. It's a name of a stadium. 200 around people got killed because it's a football stadium. Two football teams match. One team won. Somehow clashes happened between supporters of this team and that team. Strange. Not even two countries. I don't know. But two teams or human clashes, and that's one of the worst event of this year, which is how many? Nearly 200 plus people. Around 200 people got killed. That's something notable. Crowd management was very bad. Indonesia, it is in Indonesia. Okay, the name of the stadium is Kanjuruhan. So answer is only one pair. Any one of you made it right? Yeah, only one pair is correct. Yeah, Bakhmut in Ukraine, very good. That's right. D is incorrect. Yeah, only one pair is correct. Let's go for the next question. How many pairs given below are correctly matched? The term that was in news, important reason for being in the news. Soft landing, a cyclical slowdown in economic growth that avoids recession. Is it true? What's called a soft landing? The term, what does it mean? First is right or wrong. Eating or heating, the term was also very popular last year. Inflation affecting the lives of poorer sections of UK. Hunger, Tonga, Hunger. Hapai. It's a marine underwater volcano in southeast Fiji. Come on. Have you guys heard these terms? This is true. You're saying true? That's true. Soft landing. Soft landing is true. Actually, the economy is doing very well, and then it slows down. Slowly, it slows down, and then gradually it gets flattened. Okay, it's a cyclical process. Once again, it's a cyclical slowdown. I mean, it's a theory that says that when an economy grows very well, and then it falls down, it slowly falls down and it reaches some point, and then the growth rate will be flattened. There is no improvement, there is no decreasing. This flattened economic status will be there for some years, and then economy will grow again, fall down. This is a theory. And some of the Western countries, I think USA, UK, and all, they are coming under the cyclic soft landing under concept. They are coming up. The term was in news because the World Inflation Report and all published by which body? An important report, a global report, in a report about the economy. They said that the economy is going to slow down for some countries, inflation and all. I forget. That report is very crucial for India's case also. I've kept some question also, I think. I'll tell you before this class ends, I'll tell you guys. Eating or heating. This term was also very much popular. This true inflation affecting the lives of poorer sections in UK. The winter period, due to inflation and price rise, UK, the people were struggling to spend money because too much winter means they need to heat up. They need to spend money to heat their homes, all those things. Whether they will spend money for that or they'll spend the money for the food, they were cutting both. Okay, due to the shortage, poorer sections were affected a lot, and eating or heating in a term become very much popular, and it was discussed throughout the winter period in not just in UK, world over. Hunga Tonga, this one is right. It's a place of it's the name of a volcano, a region. It's the name of that place or something. It's not actually a term that is given, but it is actually a name of the region or the volcano. So answer is all the three. All the three pairs. Let's quickly go for the next question. The region Fergana, sometimes seen in the news recently, is associated with which of the following? Tell me A or B, and the next slide, C or D is there. It is the protest site in Iran where people mobilized to raise slogan against the moral police of Iran. Yeah, Iran, the people came and protested against moral police and all. You know that. That's one of the bigger event this year. Is it the place Fergana? That's in Tehran. It's in Iran's capital city, Tehran, not Fergana. It is the border region divided between Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan, where Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan had conflicts. Is it true? Is it true? As conflict has happened between Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, did war go between conflict happen between the two armies between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan? That's true. Conflict happened between the two. Two forces conflict happened. There is no doubt in that. And the next, it's a landlocked, mountainous, and forested region falling along the Azerbaijan and Armenia border, where both the countries are facing conflict. Yeah, that means this is the option actually. It's the worst earthquake affected region along the Turkey-Syria border. Actually, the Turkey-Syria, that the entire stretch went for a worst earthquake. It's one of the worst earthquake of the humanity. They say it is 6th biggest or 5th biggest. Yeah, it's humanity order 5th or 6th biggest some bigger earthquake. It is huge loss, no? But there's no such name. Fergana region is not there. It's the entire belt went to the underwent this one, and this region is also under conflict only. Armenia and Azerbaijan are border conflict or worst border clash, both the armies went also. But the name is what? Caucasus region, not the Fargana. Fargana is this region. Actually, Fargana is a disputed territory between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Same ethnic groups. One ethnic group lives there, but all the three are splitting among the three, or kind of highly artificial created international border. It is going against the ethnic people living there. This Fargana is a disputed region that was in news. Answer is B for Bombay. I'll send you the material anyway. Nuclear, military, regional, and security, collective security, etc. All those things in news. Consider the following statements about AUKUS. Most of you would have, can make it right. That's just, anyway. It will be easy for most of you anyway. Three statements. Which of the above is correct? Correct statements. It's a trilateral security partnership for the Indo-Pacific region between Australia, UK, and the US. Is it true? It's a security partnership. True. The major highlight of this arrangement is the sharing of US nuclear submarine technology to Australia very recently. That's also true. It involves cooperation across emerging technologies related to emerging technologies, and related to emerging technologies, and also related to undersea capabilities augmentation. Is it true? True. Actually, it's the only sub outcome. Is the main goal. Main goal is the cooperation related to emerging technologies, the artificial intelligence, new technology, whatever it is newly emerging, all those matters, three countries will coordinate and cooperate with each other, and undersea capabilities they'll maximize and all those things. So already we have acquired, but still they are bringing this AUKUS and all. I'm bringing UK here once again. Anglosphere and all is in news. All the three pairs, 1, 2, and 3. So next area, reports indexes. This is the last area. Miscellaneous sports areas and all I have kept no question. So this is the last area. 2, 3 questions are there, and then session going to over. Reports indexes including their components and publishing bodies. As I told, last 3 years, no question has came from reporter. But before that and all, regularly questions has come. 1 year, 3 reports coming, 4 reports coming and all. It's common previously. So let's see the questions here. 2, 3 questions will wind up the session. Consider the following statements. 3. Okay, just 3 statements. Which is true, which is false. State of world population report. This report is very much relevant this year for India because yeah, that's the historic thing we are going to achieve. Yeah, it's published once in a decade by the UN Population Fund. Is it true? First statement is true or false. India's population is pegged to reach 142.86 crore against China's 142.57 crore by July 2023. Roughly 29 lakhs. Is it true? Third, India's total fertility rate was estimated at 2, which is lower than the world average. The reports regarding this report, all these 3 is true. 2 point. India, it's not 2. Is it not 2? 2.1. Sure. I think it is 2. Huh? Sure, guys. India's fertility rate. I think third statement is true. No, according to this report, it is estimated 2.0. According to the report, it is 2.0. 2.0. Third statement is correct. Okay, this is correct. Is this correct? Yes, this is correct. 29 lakhs will be above them. It's published once in a decade by UN. Is it published by UN Population Fund? Come on, everybody. It's published by UN Population Fund, but not in a decade. It's published annually. Though it is published annually, this year report alone made a big news because of this observation for India's case. India in the report only in this year is making big news. It's not decade, it's annual report. Every year they publish it. So answer is 2 and 3 only. Okay. Quickly. 2 and 3 only. Which of the following released the World Economic Situation and Prospects 2023 report? Yeah, this report only. This is the report I was speaking about previously. World level inflation, economic growth, and a very important report. This report is the report who released in the question alone. I have kept it, but I suggest you go through the basic summary of this report. At least or basic 5-6 points. That is enough. They don't. UPSC will not dig deeper. The report would have basic observations or 5 or 6 points in a basic material. What you read, that alone you go through. So UN's Department of Economic and Social Affairs, UN DESA, UNCTAD, World Economic Forum, IMF. Which one? Who publishes this report? Answer is IMF. According to FHS. No, not according to FHS or something. According to this report. The question is related to this report. Okay, DIMF, you guys are putting A. Somebody is putting. Who's putting A? Rudra Lalam is putting A, and that is Akash Kumar is putting A. A is right. Actually, it is published by United Nations Department. As I said, I suggest you the report order basic observations, just in a half a page, 5-6 basic observations in a very basic material. I suggest you to go through. It's actually published by them, not by any of them. Because in the report one is significant, India's case, a big article was written. Anyway, that's the number of questions I've kept it, sample questions. It's like a quick revision for you guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, so every single question is last 1 year current affair only. I did not go beyond. And those who have answered that you have checked your status of preparation and all, that's okay. Those who found it you didn't answer and all, this is a time to learn. You learned informations. Yeah, that's how you have to take it. As I said, except 1 or 2 questions, which is not in the pre-storming questions. All the pre-storming international organizations related questions, all current affairs related, very significant questions. I tried to take not any questions from the pre-storming, okay, which is students not yet exposed to, but still significant international events. And I tried to do that balance, and that's how I made these questions. So apart from this, I would strongly suggest you guys go through the international organizations pre-storming questions. I think 3 tests or 2 tests has been conducted. So 200 or 25 current affair, or around 150 or maybe 225 questions in pre-storming international organizations are there. I would suggest you definitely for this prelims go through it, because both the pre-storming tests, 3 tests or 2 tests, all the questions that is asked from international organizations, 90% question current affair with UPSC standard they asked. Okay, I felt the question paper is very, very important. I suggest you to go through the pre-storming question papers and the answer keys also. So anyway, it's a quick revision we had. Thank you all, guys. Yeah, I'll send it to Mr. Sindamal and he'll post it in Telegram. This PPT, you'll get it. Thank you all, guys. Yeah, good luck. Prepare well. Yeah. Ziran, quickly. Okay.